The boys are back in the second part of this epic Ngala adventure. After hitting a few of the island's big hotspots, having absolutely no luck at fishing and a bit of rough weather, the lads have a plan to visit Fraser's most northern point, Sandy Cape. But between them and the tip lies over 30 kilometres of beach and the infamous Ngala rocks.
Let's go, baby! Ew, how good's life? Fraser, baby! Ew.
It's an early start for the boys today, and straight up it's looking like it's going to be a cracker of a day.
Today's been my favourite day so far, easy.
We were sort of vehicles rolling out about 7 onto the beach.
There was probably 6 or 7 dingoes just playing around, and they come right up to the car.
And there's about 6 dingoes playing on the beach. You know, the sun's up, pumping, sky's blue. Fuck, it doesn't get any better. Like, it was just unreal.
Orid Beach. Yep, the home of the driftwood bar from last episode. And it's also the last stop for fuel and supplies before hitting the more northern part of Ngala.
So yeah, heading out on the beach up to Ngala rocks. It was just a great drive. Like, I found it one of those ones where you're literally sitting back, you got some tunes on, you're looking out at the ocean breaking while you're just floating, you know, and it's pretty therapeutic, to be honest.
Ngala Rocks is one of Ngala's most challenging tracks, and it starts by carving its way through the coffee rock and then into a bottomless sandpit where many four-wheel drives have come unstuck.
So we headed to Ngala Rocks. We all pulled up before we actually got onto it. Went for a bit of a walk, sussed it out. It looked a lot better than I'd seen in videos and images. It always looked like a bit of a sandpit, bit of a trap to get stuck in.
After taking a look and coming up with a game plan, Luke's big Ram 1500 is up first.
Ngala rocks, everybody sort of talks about how hard it was. Whether it was the rain or lack of people driving through, it was pretty easy. We'll see a couple of boys get stuck.
Up next is Tommy in the LMT equipped Navara Warrior, and he's looking a bit nervous.
There's the time, there's the point. Can he wheel, can he not wheel? We've got to find out.
To wheel or not to wheel?
To wheel or not to wheel? Nervous wheel?
Oh, nice work. Next one up. Let's roll.
Copy.
That first bit you come around, it's tight, eh? Like, I don't know how Lukey felt in the Ram, because even in the nav I was like, whoa.
Fuck off, mate.
Wheeling.
I think we were pretty lucky getting a bit of rain. Like, it made that sand a bit harder because it was pretty easy to get through, sort of thing. But it was still fun, mate. Like I said, I don't do this fuck all, and I'm having a great time.
Woo! Kick and wheel! One tag, Tommy! Kick and wheel!
Wheel.
I've always said that.
Kid can wheel.
With Tommy through, it's up to Cam to make sure his Navara doesn't come unstuck.
So before I've ever been to Fraser, everyone would rave up Ngala rocks. Everyone would get up on the rocks and watch everyone come through and they'd help each other out or give them a bit of shit. But this morning, obviously with the rain, you could have got a taxi through there. So we had a pretty good run. So hopefully it's chopped out a bit on the way back so we can have a bit of fun.
Now it's time for the big rock with Brian or Shinny behind the wheel.
So Ngala rocks I was pretty nervous about because you see all the YouTube clips and everyone getting bogged there. I don't like getting bogged. Pretty nervous about that, but then once I actually did it today, I was like, oh, I kind of wanted it to be a little bit harder because it wasn't very hard.
Next up is the D22, aka Jacob's Booger. Will the oldest ute in the convoy get it done?
It was actually like going through and kind of picking your lines and timing. It was actually a really good time to actually, be able to think again. So driving on the beach for so long, you just kind of get into like a relaxing mode and hooning on through where like my style of forward driving off-roading is a lot of tight technical tracks. So being able to think and where I'm doing and what I'm doing was actually quite fun. Almost a bit of a challenge, so to say.
Last but not least is Brees in his big nav. Let's get this done, mate.
All right, Ngala rocks. Let's send it. I was a little bit nervous, but after seeing the boys go through, no dramas. Like a glove. It's nowhere near as soft as you see in all the YouTube clips. Just cruising. That rain last night probably helped firm it all up a bit. Hell yeah, baby. Oh, we good. Squeaky boy. Nav life, baby. And we're through. Hell yeah. It was a bit disappointing that no one in the crew got stuck. It was definitely going to be a highlight if someone did get stuck. We'd be giving them stick and having a few yarns around the fire with it. But maybe if we try a few other tracks on the way back, we might be able to see what we can manage.
And with that, Ngala Rocks is clear, and it's time to knock over some Ks on our way to the most northern point of the island.
On the way up Sandy Cape, there's big coffee rocks you're going to kind of work your way through. Lucky it was low tide, so we could kind of go down on the water and get around them. But yeah, but then sometimes you do have to work your way through them, and it's pretty slow and rocky and rough. But so it's good to test the forbies out.
So we've had a bit of a shit time with the weather so far, but coming up this morning up to Sandy Cape, gee whiz, it was just bloody magnificent.
The boys have timed it well, and while the tide is on its way in, there is still plenty of beach to drive on.
Let's go, about to just cross over around the point. Apparently it's a ripper to look at. This has been such a fucking good drive along this beach.
Best morning.
Oh, mate. It literally doesn't get any better.
It doesn't. It does not.
If you're on Fraser, have Barry on speed dial, mate. Fucking love it.
Mate, we were heading up the beach and we knew that we were about to turn the corner into the spot everyone's been talking about wanting to go to. So, everyone was pretty excited on the two ways.
How beautiful is that?
This is like the Margot Robbie of locations.
It doesn't even look real, does it?
There's a couple of bust ups there, Tommy.
Oh, fucking couple of 3 metre, he's hitting the flats. Oh, look at that, mate. Look at that.
Nice deep flatty hole.
Oh, yeah. Fucking oath, mate. I'm going to put a yab on and get licking.
How fucking good.
Mate, when we first got here, it was like the scene out of a movie. Honestly, it's like the director went, fucking go. And we come around and there was a dingo on the beach. There was dolphins in the bay, which probably scared me flat out away. That's why I haven't caught one. And then what else? We had eagles coming in, people fishing along the beach.
Mate, I just see that it's not real rough and it's nice and clear. I just want something to eat, something that I throw out, and I'll just be happy. That's all I want. I don't even want to kill it. I just want to catch it. Righto, I think we're going to run the old OG, little orangey.
Sandy Cape to me was paradise, and I've always loved just sitting in the sun with a nice cool breeze blowing on me, and it was paradise for me. I could move there.
I don't know what to expect out of Sandy Cape when we first got on the beach, but coming around that corner and just getting to the bay there was just like it's been on like a different island altogether. Like you go from what we've done this week already, so you go from the western side to the eastern side and the inland tracks. That part of the Fraser Island is a completely different part of the island. It's just absolutely stunning.
So we got up here, the boys were obviously into their fishing, and just knocked up some steak sangers on the cars. All went well. Beers are flowing, had the tunes going. Can't ask for much better, eh?
What do we got, bro?
Let's go. The green machine, bud. Hey? Persistence. It's not a dog, but it'll fucking do. Little gar, bud. And settle down, son. How good's that? One of these little assistants, though.
Sandy Cape is a stunning part of Gari, and it's easy to see why. The boys are loving every minute of today, even if the fish aren't biting as much as they'd hoped. After a good few hours on the Cape waiting for the tide to turn, it's time for our convoy to head straight back to camp. Well, that was the plan anyway.
Coming back from Sandy Cape, we found a little hill that kind of went up in the dunes, and the boys wanted to have a play, so...
The boys, wanted to have a crack at it, and she was soft, proper soft. So I think Brian went first. He's just got the tray, so he got up easy, and then Jacob went through, Brees got through. Tommy took quite a few goes.
So Tommy loves his four-wheel driving. He hasn't done a lot of it. Loves a bit of wheeling, as he keeps saying. And he was really keen to have a go.
We decided to stop and go up a pretty, I don't know what you call it. I don't know if it's hardcore or mediocre or fucking bit more than normal, but it wasn't easy to get up. This soft sand, and then it had a kick out to the left. And they all decided to give it a go, and that's not something I'd normally stop and do, but I was like, oh, well, fuck, everyone's doing it. Like when in Rome. Yeah, give it a hit, and got stuck and reversed back down. And then we're sort of sitting there, and Cam was sort of like, what, are you gonna let it beat you?
I reckon, bro.
Hey, so I just did it in second.
And what do you mean?
First in the second, don't do it in drive or else you won't make it up there.
Yeah, right,
so go first.
But how do you know if you're in first? You just go fucking...
It should show one there.
Yeah, righto.
And then hit it forward to go to second.
Yeah.
And then once you feel it burying down, go back to first.
Yeah, right. So when do you go second?
As you're coming up the straight.
Righto,
and then
drop
only
it
change back to first as you're around that loop.
Righto. Too easy. I'll give her a crack.
So I had to go give him a bit of a pep talk and go, come on mate, let's fucking get it done.
So just kept trying to smack it, I think 6 times. The second last one was probably the most fun one. And then finally got right up the top, and it sort of bogged down a bit, and then just popped out, rolled it backwards and forwards a little bit to get the ground hard, and popped it through and got through there. So that was a pretty good feeling, to be honest.
So Tommy had a few goes at this track, and he wasn't going to give up until he completed it. Finally got over it, and the look on his face, he was absolutely pumped. For the rest of the afternoon, I don't think anything could have topped it. He was just so happy with himself.
Woo! Let's go, baby! Woo-hoo! Let's fucking go, baby! Woohoo!
I struggled for a bit there. I thought it was a weight thing, but I forgot to take traction control off. So As soon as we whipped that on, we were sweet.
Most of us, I think, failed besides Shinny, the big fella. He got up the first go in the Amarok.
It's now time to head back to Waddy Point and set up for the first ever Alpha Blokes podcast off the grid, away from the studio and at a remote camp on Fraser Island.
So we got back to camp after having a bit of fun in the sand dunes, and the boys started setting up to do their podcast. I hadn't really put much thought into it, but once I saw all that equipment getting set up, it sort of hit me that, you know, like 300,000 people are going to hear my voice and talking about all sorts of random stuff. I was incredibly nervous. I was shitting myself.
Yeah, look, the podcast, yeah, I've got my notes. I'm a little bit nervous about it.
Mate, Alpha Blokes started from a sort of moment like this where I was with Cam around a campfire, and we used to work away together a lot, like together and apart, but both away, and both listened to podcasts and loved them. So we always used to talk about them and stuff like that, and then we just had a bit of a idea on the piss about why don't we start one. It was tax time, so we bought the kit and then just fucking set it up in his garage, man. And just started doing it. It was more of an excuse for us to catch up once a fortnight, or once a week, whatever it was, and just get on the piss and have a laugh. So that's how it originated. We've never done it for clout or anything like that. It was just a reason to catch up and thought we'd enjoy doing it. And mate, it's just us being ourselves the whole time. I think people can relate to it, and we talk the everyday battler's language.
Sitting down and watching the boys do their first ever live podcast, you know, on site was awesome to watch. You know, I've been listening to them since day one, and being able to watch it actually happen in real life for the first time was awesome. Watching Luke, watching Brees, you know, absolutely kill it for their first podcast. Even though they're a little bit nervous, but they no, the boys did awesome, and yeah, it's a big credit to watching Tommy, Cam and Quinn do their thing. So
yeah, so they powered all their gear off the LSP LMT system that we've built. So I think they ran everything off one car, off the inverter, and I think they used about 20% of power, which is pretty good, considering the gear they actually had. Had a lot.
So we did our first podcast, went very well. Yeah, no hiccups at all, and I can't wait to keep doing a few more. It was just an awesome turnout. So I hope the audience enjoys it as much as we did doing it outside.
With a successful podcast in the bag, it's time for a good feed and a fun night around the fire. Isn't that what camping with your mates is all about?
yeah, final day in Fraser. We knew we couldn't have a boring breakfast back at the campsite. Brian had the great idea of heading down to the beach first thing in the morning for an awesome sunrise breakfast. Sitting there having a coffee and a bacon and egg roll, which is an awesome way to finish the last day on the island.
How you going, bud?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good, man.
Mate, we've had, over the last sort of few months, we've had a fair few questions from people just asking us about all of what's going on in here. I know we've sort of shown them around a little bit, but while we've sort of got a few things set out this morning and just cooked a bit of a feed up on here, which was excellent, I reckon let's sort of go through what features a car does have, why you put them where you put them, and then maybe the differences between our car and your car.
Yeah, for sure, bud. Yeah, so I mean, if we start at the front, your power unit is a 290 amp hour. So everything's in that box. Inverter, batteries, a lot. So we can run everything off that. Yeah. Wire it up to a solar panel.
Yep.
Just charges all day, mate.
No, it does a good job, eh?
I ran all your podcast gear in Mint last night.
Yeah, ran all,
did
a full show off it last night. And been using it mostly like overnight, and during the driving during the day charges it straight back up, and that solar panel trickling it, hey? So
that's pretty, man.
And it's all set out really well and easy to read as well.
Yeah, all touch screens and
set out.
You know, so if you want to isolate anything, you can. Yeah, man, and just it does it with ease, doesn't it?
Yeah, the upright fridge is a good factor as well. Like, I don't know, we've been bouncing around a bit. It might be a bit messy, but you know, all the drink things down the bottom stops them from bouncing around. Got a few beers, a few cokes and that in there, and miscellaneous food. Looked a lot neater at the start, but you know how it goes.
That's it. That's it, mate.
And then we fit everything from pots, pans, washing stuff, paper towel, cutlery, cooking equipment in there, which clips away nice and tidy. And then this cooktop, just give it a quick wipe. It's an absolute godsend. Like, we come down have a look around where we are today on the corner of this little beach here. The boys are fishing just here and we pull up and we can cook breakfast.
Yeah, no wind, so that,
cool.
you know, no gas. The wind doesn't become a factor.
And the table, the storage compartment out the back doubles as a bit of a table, so you pull it out, you can prep all your stuff on it, which is a real handy factor, eh?
That's it, man, yeah.
And it tucks in away out of the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
This comes in handy. Got a little tank with a button on here for the water to come out, so you can wash your stuff off with fresh water, or your feet, or whatever you want before you get in your rooftop tent, which is probably another feature to talk about, Luke.
Yeah, I love these tents, the clamshell, but they pop up at the back, so you don't have to get in and turn around. So
yeah, they're pretty handy.
It's just one of their range. They do an unreal job.
No, there's room for two in there too, Luke, which comes in handy too.
That's it, mate.
You want to bring mum for a trip?
The mum away, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and obviously you're running the 270 as well, which isn't out, but you know, wraps around the whole lot. It's got the D-zipper, you can still climb in.
Yeah, that's right. It's very good if you don't have a spot where you already got shade.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can
I
really
think everybody
come in
had
handy.
about see up the point.
Yeah, that's right. Got the jerry can holder on the back, and got another one for gas. Obviously, we don't have a Weber or anything at the moment, so I'm using it to store a bit of firewood in there. I reckon it could also double as a pretty good cans and bin day.
Yeah, a bit of a bin. I run me chocks in the other side when I don't need a jerry can.
Yep. I think the only difference between Cam and I is he's got a long compartment here, and we've got two compartments. I'd open it, but it's pretty much spring-loaded in there, the amount of stuff we've got in there. So
yeah, unreal.
We've been using the front compartment that's all nice and cosy for all of our recording gear and keeping that all safe. And it's like the more shit you put in there, the less it can bounce around.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then the rest of it in the back, mate. But it's another storage thing here on this side. And yeah, the rooftop, obviously, but mate, it's been a pretty good trip so far. Just having a look at what they can do and the things you're able to do, you know. Yeah, so let's go and have a look at let's go and have a look at your ute, man, and just show them maybe the differences between them.
Not a lot, to be honest, other than the size.
Yeah.
We run the same power system.
Yep.
I run the same fridge.
Yeah.
Obviously a bit bigger here.
Yeah.
So,
a bit more room.
Yeah, a bit more room with the American trucks. All one of our best features, I reckon, is that.
Yeah.
All your shit don't fall out.
That's fucking handy, man.
So you're on a drawer.
Yeah.
So that was developed because I had one of the first canopies we ever built, or trays, and all the shit was falling out all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what we come up with.
No, that's a brilliant idea. And what I also like as a bit of a creature comfort is this.
Yeah, the U-deck.
It's nice, isn't it, to be able to work on. Things don't slide around.
Yeah, that's it, man. And just finishes it off, doesn't it?
Yeah. And what do you got here, mate?
Yeah, so that's the Travel Buddy pie oven.
Little pie oven.
That's unreal, mate.
How good's that?
Yeah. Good for pizzas and.
And you were saying that you were running an air fryer off the inverter the other night.
Yeah, we run an air fryer. We did nachos the other night.
That
was unreal.
Camp nachos.
Yeah, camp nachos, mate.
That's pretty deadly. Also, what we didn't say is we got a couple of filthy speakers in there.
Yeah.
And Luke's got one here. These things absolutely crank. They can go soft too if you want to be respectful. But I mean, if you want to have a bush tour on the beach, it's got you sorted.
That's it, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're unreal. So,
what else, mate? Around the back, pretty much.
It's just the same. We all run outside lights.
Yeah.
And we hang them off the doors as well.
Yeah.
My young fella likes to have a kick at the soccer ball while we're out free camping, so I can light it up for him.
Yep. So if people are keen, and they have a ute or whatever, it'll be like a lot of the features you see you'll be able to put in. It just might fit a different way or a little bit.
That's right.
Change a little bit sort of thing.
Yep.
So these are all storage, is it, mate?
Yeah, that's all storage, man. Just 4 drawers. So they come out quite a long way. Yep. So I can take everything with me, tools, batteries, the lot.
Yep.
With mine, we've done the compressors a little bit different because we had the room.
Yep.
So the compressors are just tucked away in there, extra tank, and then plug in there and I can get the whole way around every tyre.
That's a massive point that we forgot to mention over there, is that there's a compressor hidden in the canopy of ours, and there's a point right at the back. That sliding out drawer has all the air compressor stuff in it. So if you need to do anything with your tyres, pull that bit out of the back, plug it straight in, press a button for compressor, and you're on your way. So that's very handy. But Luke, awesome, mate. Thanks for running everyone through that, and I'm sure they'll get a bit out of it. And
I'm glad you've got me out to use it, and I guess, you can fine tune it next time, eh?
For sure. We're on your bus.
Thanks, buddy.
It might be the last day on the island for the crew, but they have plenty of places to tick off their bucket list, with the first being the Champagne Pools.
So we hit up Champagne Pools today. I was a little bit nervous heading there because last time I went, it was real dirty. It was sort of bottom of the low tide. It was a bit ordinary. But today, absolutely turned it on. Sun was out, beautiful water.
Mate, it was pretty cool when you come around the corner and just see them there. Like, you can tell they're deep enough to swim in, and the waves are just hitting the back of it, obviously putting the bubbles in like the champagne. But no, it was awesome. And there was plenty of talent getting around down there too. Like, there's a fair few people who obviously go, that's one of the main things to check out. And once again, like the rest of the trip, if it was summer, I think that's your fucking nearly a whole day, or half a day at least. You know, a few tins and stuff like that, but no, it was good.
The boys were just so excited to see it, and they all got in. No one chickened out, so it was definitely an awesome day.
Yeah, how's that? Everyone started to fire up on the last day. You know, I've been battling the cold on my own for 2 days straight, and yeah, they finally decided to come in. I'm not my own, sorry, there's been a few boys. Look, I can't speak on behalf of Cam, but you know, the people who are occupying this pool might have helped lure a few of those people in, that's all I'll say.
After drying off and jumping back behind the wheel, the lads have decided to make a beeline for the Happy Valley pub for a final counter meal and a few beers to celebrate their last day on the island.
So we haven't had a good experience with pubs on the island. We've always arrived either too late or too early. So the boys were keen to have a pub lunch today. So we rang ahead, made sure that they were open, and we rocked up and had an absolutely awesome feed. A few cold beers, a bit of a yarn, it was absolutely perfect. The pub's definitely redeemed themselves today.
Happy Valley Pub is a great spot to get a meal and get back into a little bit of civilization.
Cam has a bit of ADHD or A to Z, and they have a colouring competition there. Well, not competition, but kids colouring. And there was all the dingoes coloured and put down under the bar. And I said, hey, can I just get a colouring in sheet for me little mate out here and stuff like that? And she said, yeah.
Yeah, obviously we've done the colouring in and added a cock onto it, and yeah, we put it up there with the rest of the drawings, take out the winner. Hopefully we get the colouring in drawing of the month.
But he drew a big sword on it because it's Cam, and then we finished drawing it and thought, oh well, we'll have to go up. You know, he's put a lot of work into this, so I went and got a bit of duct tape out of the car and just sort of drive by the bar, give it a little tap, and yeah, join the queue, dingoes and the dog. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, so if you're at Happy Valley over here at Fraser and you want to drop past and see if there's Cam's dingo doggy donger still sitting on the fucking bit of paper, bit of duct tape, we'll see if the staff let it slide, I don't know.
With their bellies full, it's time to make our final run down to our camp for tonight at Dilly Village.
So my 3 tips for someone coming to Fraser Island would be bring as much alcohol as you can because it's expensive, bring as much fuel or diesel as you can because it's expensive, and plan double the amount of time that you're thinking because you just run out of time so quick because it's so amazing.
Probably 3 tips for me: cold fridge, cold piss equals great times. And just some of the spots that you hear all about: Lake Mackenzie, Eli Creek, Sandy Cape. You gotta just do them. They're the main ones, I reckon. If you're only here for a couple of days and you want to do a quick lap, make sure you get to those 3 destinations.
Dilly Village and the team's final campsite is located in the southern part of the island and is a great spot to finish your adventure, especially if you're catching the Inskip ferry back to the mainland.
Well, I think it's just those main landmarks, the cool ones. That's what my suggestion would be. Just at Eli, Champagne Pools, Sandy Cape, I think that's a big one, going right up the point. That was epic. And the places to camp, you know. Loving this joint because I've had enough of the sand. Don't have to worry about dusting my feet off in the rooftop tonight. So yeah, that would be another one for me. And just knowing the tides, that I think is a big factor.
Yeah, 100%. I'll definitely come back here. I don't know, life's pretty busy, and I suppose next time we do a big trip like this, you might want to diverse, you know, get a bit diverse with it, but 100% I'll be back here in the future.
It's been my first trip on Fraser Island, and this whole week's been an awesome trip. Like, I think we've seen every single part of Fraser possible. We've seen the bottom tip, the top tip, a bit of the west coast and a lot of the east coast, as well as a lot of the inland tracks. Definitely blown my mind of how different it is really compared to the videos and photos you see on social media, where it's one of the places you've got to kind of go and have a look at. In saying that, I was on the phone to the missus earlier on. We're planning on coming up going back up here in a few weeks' time now, so we'll be back up here very soon.
3 hot tips would be go to the popular spots. I think that all of those impressed me, like that we were supposed to go to. 2, have your own sort of car or cooking thing. I think it was pretty cool to be able to go down to the beach like this morning and cook bacon and eggs like there or wherever you need to go. So being self-sufficient like that. What else? Don't take your babies around dingoes.